Welcome into another edition of Tape Don't Lie. Cam Smith along with my running mate, Tim Doyle. And Tim, we're going to look at some big men for this NBA draft and the prospects that are really shining on this board. And who says the big man is dead? I think they've evolved. And one of the guys that's really evolved, and he's only a 19-year-old freshman, is Onyeka Okongwu of USC, the second-rated big man on the draft board.
Yeah, I'm happy that you had to say his name first and not mine because that would have been a disaster for me. His nickname is the Big O, and I will refer to him as that. And at 19 years old and a former teammate of the Ball brothers at Chino High School in California, he seems to be getting better right now. Like he was better right now than he was 5 minutes ago. It just seems like every single day we see something from this kid because we knew athleticism, rebounding, running the floor, but now his offensive game is evolving. I bet you if he would have went to the combine, if they had one this year, his stock would have absolutely exploded.
Onyeka Okongwu joined Jeff Goodman for an exclusive interview last month. Here's his self-scouting report going into the draft.
My strengths definitely being a defender, rim protector, shot blocker. I can switch onto guards and hold my own against them. I'm very good with pick and roll on offense and defense, really. I can read pick and rolls really well. And when it comes to being a screen setter, I roll to the basket hard. I'm a lob threat. And I'm extending out to my mid-range game. I have great touch when I'm shooting the ball. My weaknesses, definitely my ball handling. Those can definitely be tuned up a little bit. And sometimes my decision-making, that could definitely be worked on.
Okay, Tim, let's get into this footage of Onyeka Okongwu. And this is a guy that a lot of GMs and scouts love because of his defensive presence and what he's able to do, especially on the pick and roll. Now, I mentioned that he's the second-rated big man. The first one is James Wiseman, but I don't think James Wiseman can defend like this kid can, especially when it comes to guarding smaller guards.
Yeah, watch on this particular pick and roll. Watch how he gets his hands up basically to show the official that I'm not using my hands. I'm using my feet. Watch him use his feet there, allows his teammate to get back in position. This guy is a stud as far as guarding, Cam, all five positions.
100%, Tim. And he's 6'9", 245 pounds. But get this, a 7-foot-plus wingspan, which allows him to contest shots, as we see here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an instinct. Averaged 2.5 blocks this past season at USC. And you know, he just has an unbelievable feel on the basketball floor, defensively and offensively. On this possession here, guarding Jazz Johnson, who's one of the best three-point shooters in college basketball. Watch how he pays attention to the scouting report. He's got 2 feet above the three-point line. He's like, you may beat me driving, but I ain't going to let you beat me shooting a three here. And I like the fact he took Jazz Johnson's strength away and made him a driver.
Right, and that's where his size comes into play, where he's able to guard smaller guards and really funnel them into the paint. I think that's why a lot of teams maybe in the lottery are thinking about drafting Okongwu. Now, I have a source, or excuse me, a coach and assistant for the Washington Wizards, and they potentially could have the number 9 pick in the NBA draft. And that could be a guy that would fit in nicely with Rui Hachimura, who played out of position for the Wizards. They want to slide Hachimura over to the 3, the small forward spot. And if they can draft Okongwu to put him in that 4 spot, that would allow them to have that defensive presence and to be able to switch on smaller guys like this. His timing is so perfect because he has his hands straight up and he's not going to be baited into any situation where he's jumping so quickly and he's drawing fouls, or ball handlers are drawing fouls on him. So you mentioned his basketball IQ. To be 19 years old and to have that type of poise, that's special.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, the Wizards, right? Because then you go play with Johnny Wall and Bradley Beal, and we're going to jump into how good he is on the pick and roll. But defensively, he's got an outstanding feel, and that's what he was known as when he was playing with Lonzo and LiAngelo, and LaMelo Ball's his best friend. You know, on that team that played so fast, it was like, yo, Big O, here's what we need you to do, okay? You just rebound and block shots. We'll go get all the buckets. I'm sure LeVar was in his ear as well. Then he goes to USC. He starts evolving as an all-around player. But here on this particular play, they're in a 2-3 zone. My man is under the basket here. And watch how he closes out. This is just flat out insane.
I mean, 2 feet in the paint, and then he breaks the release from the guy trying to pin him in to get that block. And him playing with the Ball family, that lets me know that, hey, he doesn't have a big ego, that he's fine with taking a backseat, of course, playing his role. But you know he's going to be thrust into that role in that position where he gets to whatever team drafts him, that if they want to work on his skill set offensively, then he'll be able to grow that a la Bam Adebayo, who a lot of people compare him to, Okongwu to, when they think about NBA equivalents. All right, Tim, we looked at the defensive side of the ball for Okongwu. Now let's look to the side of the ball where he's going to need to develop a little bit more skill. Now, he averaged 16 points per game at USC, but this is a situation where he's going to have to really, truly evolve his game if he wants to be a threat in the NBA. But this is where he thrives, when he's running down that lane and using that wide base and that wide body to create scoring opportunities for his teammates.
Yeah, if you had to describe his game, I think it would be rim runner. Because right now it's all kind of about, setting pick and rolls and then dive into the basket. He does a great job of recognizing who has the ball, spacing, and this comes back to his feel of how do I get a look like that. And I love this particular play because of the catch. Cam, how many big men just would have dropped this ball or like fumbled it out of bounds? It's like, this is why the guy's a lottery pick, because this ball comes off hot and he gets his hands on it and he gets his mitts on it. Hey, when you play with Lonzo and LaMelo, and those guys can pass the ball, you got to be able to catch it.
Oh, yeah. He went through a trial by fire with Lonzo and LaMelo and maybe LiAngelo a little bit. LiAngelo was shooting more threes, but they were firing that ball at him, just getting his hands ready. But we know this. When you play with a big man that can catch the basketball, it makes you more confident and more willing to pass him the ball when he's rolling. And when you make passes like this and you see your big guy finishing at this high of an altitude, it's also more encouraging too. Look at how he is able to break this screen. Look at how he whips that inside leg around and is just able to springboard himself into the air for that two-hand dunk. That's another reason why scouts and GMs think that he's going to be a top 10 pick and a lottery guy in the NBA draft.
Yeah, I mean, that's just flat out sick right there, because you got to have a court awareness of where the other guys are to just jump like that, right? You got to have a feel for where other players are on the floor. And he's got excellent hands. This is another time, like, he catches the ball outside the dotted line, and it's just game over. He just attacks the rim. Do you have a current player, Cam, in the NBA when you watch Big O here that you would like to compare him to or kind of reminds you of?
Well, the obvious comparison for me is going to be Bam Adebayo, just how they attack the rim and how they attack the rim with so much force. Now, remember, Bam was an all-star after his 3 seasons, is doing a great job for the Miami Heat. You see some comparisons to Tristan Thompson as well. But I'll say this, though. Onyeka Okongwu is going to be an impact player, first on the defensive side of the ball. And as he matures, he's only 19, remember that. As he matures, he's going to be able to develop that offensive game. But my NBA comparison right now directly has to be with Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, I mean, when he catches the ball and he's close to the rim, it is game over.
All right, Tim, the trifecta for Okongwu's game is his passing, but more importantly, his rebounding. That's what he's going to really thrive in when he gets to the next level. And at 6'9" with that 7-foot wingspan, if you try and go up and raise up with him and try and snatch that basketball, he's just going to move you out of the way.
Yeah, what I love about this particular play is how he positions himself. And Cam, you played at a high level, Division I player. Just from being around basketball, that when guys shoot from one side of the court, more than likely the rebound is going to carry them off the other side. And this gets back to his court awareness of just understanding and having a feel for the game. That's something that I really find lacking in the game overall, is just that feel. Once again, he's actually on the other side of the rim. Watch how he gets to the right side as far as where the ball he thinks is going to come off. Haven't you watched Rodman? Rodman used to practice rebounding, he said, in The Last Dance. I know he used to practice a lot of other things off the floor too, but I'm saying he practices rebounding, and it showed in the game.
Listen, as long as Onyeka doesn't color his hair or get the piercings in his nose, then he'll be good to go. Tattoos, I don't mind. But you look at him in these rebounds and how he's able to make contact with opponents to really go and snatch that basketball. But this situation here, he's trailing this play. But look at his energy and his effort just to launch himself to that rim. It's those quick twitch muscles that a lot of trainers and these workout guys talk about. That's the new word, quick twitch muscles. And athletes need to have that if they want to be successful at the next level. Here's a situation here, Tim, where he's beat defensively. Like you're going to see his hands low to the ground. I'd like to see him have them up a little more, but getting back to those quick twitch muscles, how he's able to leap up and use that 7-foot plus wingspan to knock that ball out. And then he does a little Bill Russell, right? He gets the turnover, and then he throws it up ahead to his teammate for the score.
Yeah, I mean, he just coming up through high school, he was only asked to do on Chino Hills playing with the Ball brothers, like just rebound, block shots, and grab rebounds. And then he comes to USC, and it's like, oh, okay, I can get buckets too. Like, I can step out. Like, his offensive game is still evolving. And he's 19 years old. This is why he could go anywhere in this draft. You know, teams might trade up to get him in the top 3 or 4. And I love the fact that he's incredibly humble. He wears his number to honor his brother who passed away. His mother is in the front lines as a nurse during the pandemic, so hats off to her as well. And you don't want to play video games with this guy. He tweeted out recently, he's on a 12-game win streak at Madden. So what can't he do? Stock is flying up. If I could put an emoji on it as a GM, it would be the drool emoji because the sky is the limit for him.
Hey, business is booming if your name is Onyeka Okongwu.